I recently had a discussion with Tim from Pickup Truck Talk, and we were discussing the Toyota reliability problem as of late, and really why we think it went from great reliability to Toyota having some issues. We start off talking about the engineers at Toyota. Let me know what you think in the comments if you kind of see where Tim's coming from, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
That's the frustrating part I have, and a frustrating part I think you have as a viewer, that people have, is like, did they fix XYZ problem? And I can't tell you because can't talk to anybody who knows, because he went to Ram and then that guy went to GM and that guy retired. You don't get a straight answer.
Yeah, and Toyota, they really did with a lot of their products. I think they set this standard so high where people were routinely getting 300 to 500,000, half the time neglecting their vehicles. I mean, I know people that didn't change their diff and transmission fluid and they'd have 380,000 on their 4Runner, and I'm like, how did it get there? Right. And they're just like, yeah, just oil changes, whatever. It's cast iron diffs and it's good to go. I think that standard is set. I think they made a mistake. I mean, not sales wise, they've been selling the crap out of everything, but I think they made a mistake of trying to do all of them at once. It felt like everything was at once. It was just like, let's go to this entire. It wasn't just we're going to release new vehicles and new powertrains. It was no, ground up. The frame's new, the suspension's new, everything's new. The brakes are new. I mean, the brakes squeal. My daughter's Camry, she backs out. I can hear it howling in my bedroom. It's like wakes up the neighbors. It's a 2018, and I know TRD John's complained about that. Like, come on, I got this $50,000 SUV, and I'm backing out, and he's embarrassed a little bit. He's like trying to feather it. Yeah. Little stuff like that. They changed every part of it and they'll work out the kinks. It was so much to take on every platform and ground up changes. Man, that was really ambitious and it bit them a little bit. Yeah. And hopefully they'll just work it out and be like what they used to do. What really got them that reliability crown is saying we're going to use this reliable powertrain and this transmission, and that's going to go in like 10 different cars for 10 years or 12 years or whatever. And everything can change around it a little bit, maybe some facelifts, but we're not going to drastically change things. And I think if they can do that with this new platform in the cars and the trucks, then it'll probably be fine. It's just taking them longer to get fine than it used to.
Yeah. Toyota is going through a moment for sure.
Yeah.
There's no argument there. I will tell you from a journalist standpoint and from talking to customers, there are a lot of customers like you that love the reliability of those vehicles, and that was their primary focus. But driving them back to back, they were so far behind. They were light years behind. And so they chose to catch up, which whenever any business, right, you decide to catch up the competition in various ways, you just can't anticipate all the problems that you had in prior. You just can't. You're just going to have issues. And so I know from having a 2013 Tundra, driving a second-gen Tundra, I've driven every Tundra since 2014, and driving through the years, I mean, towards the end of that second-gen Tundra's life, it was almost comical how it didn't stack up to competition. And that was from a journalist standpoint, and also I had customers tell me this too, that especially what happened was when Ram launched their 2019 Ram 1500 with the big screen. That was so earth-shattering at the moment. Tesla had done it before. Tesla had created this whole thing before. It was so earth-shattering. I remember GM had launched at the same time, and GM thought they would win Truck of the Year, Motor Trend, all the kind of awards. They were shocked at how much customers went to Ram and how sales boomed, right? I remember in a press conference in Chicago, Bob Heblum, he's a big guy, and Bob was on stage talking about the Ram Laramie Longhorn. And I walked up to him afterwards. I said, I didn't know if you're describing a truck or a Chanel handbag. I mean, my goodness, the features in this vehicle were insane. Yeah. And Toyota had no response to that. And I think they really felt like they're behind the game, and they really were at that point, at that moment. And looking back on it, and I know customers were like, the diehards didn't care about that stuff. They wanted something to last all these 100,000 miles. The big three have had sketchy reliability at best at times. They've had a lot of times issues. But now you have this new customer base that's coming in that doesn't remember that stuff. And they don't want to buy their dad's Ford. They don't want to buy their dad drove Ford. I'm not buying a Ford. I'm buying something else because I don't like that, whatever. But and we have kids, and we know kids want to always push our buttons. And so I think that was the big change. I think they will get back to that as far as reliability goes because they made the big changes. It'll be interesting to see what works out in the next 5, 6, 8 years. Because I think with the Tundra, for me, it's the small things. Tow hooks.
Yeah.
Novel idea. Seat doesn't crack. Novel idea. The weather stripping hits. The bed, when you drop the tailgate, you can hop in the bed. This isn't round off the corners. You drop the bed, and there's no way to get in the bed. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. And they applauded that. And so I think they took it on the chin. I shouldn't tell the story, but when the Tacoma came out, Sheldon Brown was chief engineer, and Mike Spears is his boss. And Mike's a legend in the industry, been for many years. And Sheldon walked over to Tacoma and grabbed a hook and goes, "Hey, look, Mike, I have a tow hook." And that really grated at Mike because Mike wanted tow hooks. That's the thing. It's like engineering wants tow hooks.
So again, what do you guys think in the comments? I understand that, the majority of sales that have come from Toyota's new lineup are probably because people drive these vehicles, they enjoy the new technology, the Apple CarPlay, the larger screens, all the things that, there's really two camps of people. There's the old camp that loves driving these old vehicles that Toyota used to build, and they just want to drive something that they don't have to think about failing them on the side of the road. And now you have this kind of other buyer that really is pushing Toyota in a direction that, it's two different thought processes. Some people really like simple. Some don't want tech. They don't want their information, piped up to the cloud. And other people don't mind. They want all the tech. They want all the safety features. They want the big screen, and they want all the creature comforts. And I think that's where we're at in society. I hope that Toyota can get back to kind of living up to the own standard that I really believe they sort of set for themselves. And that's really what people are upset about. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching.